Hi, it's Harry here again. You're probably here today because you're curious about managing music, or you got an email asking you to come here and check this video out. Now, I bet you're wondering, why would I worry about managing music? I already set up the genres when I set up the jukebox. Bunch of albums uploaded and I walked away. Well, let me tell you, managing music is a great way for the operator to show the customers that they're listening. They vote for their favorite songs with their dollar bills, and you're the one who has the power to see what they are listening to the most and give a little back, allowing that song to become a one-credit play. Now you might ask yourself, wait a minute, why would I want to take a song that I'm already making good money on as an MOD, as a download, and make it a local song for one credit? Well, we know that you can draw people in with a popular song for one credit, and once they start interacting with the jukebox or the AMI Music app, it usually doesn't stop there. So ultimately, these patrons are more likely to play priority music or use the music video option if you have your jukebox updated to that. They might even do things like more download songs. So it will be more money spent. I feel like we should go ahead and jump into it. Why don't you log into the operator portal using your username and password? As a reminder, that website is www.amientertainment.net. Once we're in, we're going to take our cursor, hover over the word jukeboxes, hover over view all from the drop-down menu, and click it. Next, let's hover over the show statistics for, which is a drop-down allowing you to pick your jukebox that you prefer to deal with the albums right now. Now that you've got your jukebox selected, let's click Manage One Credit Albums. You can see just to the right of my jukebox how many albums are on there out of how many possible albums I'm allowed to have. As I mentioned before, the jukeboxes come preloaded with a handful of albums, and when you select a genre, it pulls several of those to the front and pushes those then as a local album. Let's take a look at this page. The first thing I want to show you is the two tabs. Music search right here in blue, and then video search next to it. I'm pretty sure they're self-explanatory, but just in case, the reason those two tabs are there is because you want to decide whether or not you're buying a music video or a song or album. We've set up a great way for you to be able to search and filter these albums. For example, in our first drop down here, you can take a look and there's all different ways to search. You can search by artist name, the title, you can search by an album ID, or any type of top download plays for genre. Essentially, we've got several categories that you can sort your music by. You can also pick by genre to narrow down your search. And below these are other ways you can sort things. First, you see an option to show explicit lyric albums. If that's checked, obviously, all albums will show. If it's unchecked, it will filter out anything with curse words or other explicit lyrics. Next, only albums with videos. This is where there is a music video tied directly to a song or some songs on that album. If that is checked, then you will get rid of all of the albums that don't have a music video also tied to it. Results per page. I feel like this is pretty standard on a lot of websites. Say you have like 50 or 60 results that pop up, and you want to be able to see them on one page to compare. Then you do this drop down and maybe pick 50 or 100. And it'll let you have more results per page rather than having to use the page 2, 3, or next. Finally, there's popularity. This will bring songs to the top that are popular within the last 4 weeks, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, or year. So let's try out some of the filtering as we discuss sorting. Up here is our filtering that I've been explaining, and down here is sorting. And what you'll see down here is that each of these are clickable to rearrange things, whether it be by number or alphabetical order. If you clicked on album or artist, it would be by alphabetical order. So you'd pull the A beginning albums or artists to the top if you'd click on those. Same with genre. Year would be click on it once for a long time ago. I think 1923 is our oldest album. And if you click it twice, then you can basically start with the 2021 songs and releases. Local and MOD, this is how many plays you have on your device for that particular song, whether it be local, already local on the machine, that's a 1 credit play, or MOD, which is music on demand. Music on demand is when the customer pays extra credit to download the song to be able to play it. Now here's the last one, and I want to point this out. This is the ranking. This is based on song plays, but it's not the number of times a song has been played. The ranking is basically a way of saying, based on the songs played, this song falls between 0 and 10,000. The closer it is to 10,000, the more popular a song it is. As you can see, Chris Stapleton Traveler is at the 10,000 slot. So it's a very popular song. Let's mess around with our filters some. I'd like to go to top download plays per genre. Now we know that these results are based on songs being downloaded instead of local. We'll keep all genres. We'll back it out now, because you see, not much changed. We still have Traveler on the top, but let's back it out for a year. And remember, this is going to base things on this machine. Since mine's a test machine, it's been a year since I was playing some of these songs. We've got Queen's Greatest Hits with 2 MODs. Now that we see that Queen is not only higher on the list in ranking, but also has been played as an MOD, why don't we select it? Let's add it to the cart, because this could be one that's going to draw people in. All you do is click right here. Now it's added to the cart. Which actually reminds me, let me explain this sidebar to you. This is another form of sorting. The green arrow indicates that an album or song is waiting in your shopping cart to be added to the jukebox. The red minus indicates if the album is going to be removed from the jukebox. The back and forth arrows will indicate if you're in a holding pattern waiting for that process of download and upload to progress. And finally, the screen will tell you if that song is on the jukebox at the present time and for how long. So you can see down here, Traveler by Chris Stapleton has been on the jukebox for a year. Why don't I take that off? Because it hasn't been played in a while. There. It's in the cart, prepared to be removed. Each jukebox can download 24 albums per month. That comes out to 6 per week at no charge. Now, if you have a new jukebox, there's actually a 30-day grace period in which you can download unlimited local downloads. Before we go ahead and check out, why don't we take a look at how local albums are doing on our jukebox? 1 credit plays. So we're going to say in the search, currently on this jukebox, and then we're going to click on the local album sort. Of course, I've mentioned this is a test jukebox, so I don't have a whole lot of plays going on, but at least we know what's not being played at all. So for our purposes today, we'll select a couple of albums with 0 plays. We don't need ABBA on the jukebox. We should free up some room. Personally, I actually like some of these, so I really don't want to get rid of Back in Black or Toys from the Attic. But we could do Boys and Girls, Know It All, and AM. Now we've selected some to be removed from the jukebox in the shopping cart. This next part is going to be exciting because I'm about to move me. I want to show you guys the shopping cart, so I'm going to adjust myself just a little bit over here. You can see this is your shopping cart icon, and there are checked out for 72 items. I'm going to go ahead, click on that cart, and now we are in the shopping cart. You can select your jukebox by simply scrolling through and picking it, or you can go here, scroll through here, pick your jukebox just to be able to see the one that you want to deal with. By picking that one, you've selected it already, and you can either empty cart, which is undo the work you did, or check out. We're going to go ahead and check out. Now the process is officially done. All you're doing is waiting for the uploads and removals to take place. We want the music management feature to help you make money. Our suggestion is to have at least between 175 and 255 downloaded 1 credit albums. And finally, as a friendly reminder, remember that sometimes, due to licensing changes, we're forced to take albums off the network or swap them out with a different one. So we strongly suggest that you do a quarterly check on your local downloads. As always, thank you so much for spending the time to come learn with me. You can always reach out to tech support through the chat option within the operator portal or by calling 1-877-762-6765. Again, I'm Harry, and I hope you have a good one.